Welcome to the show, and today we are bringing you pure liquid evil. It's this. Many of you might recognize it. If you don't, look across to the person who does know what this is, and note the fear in their eyes. This is a 2009 Generation 2 Yamaha V-Max. For this, Yamaha looked across at the muscle bike market dominated at the time by Harley or maybe the Triumph Rocket 3 and said, watch this. The motor is a 1700cc liquid-cooled 4-cylinder structured in its namesake V format, and it's badass.
I might be wrong, but I think this is the first motorcycle, like big production motorcycle, ever to come out with 200 horsepower, claim 200 horsepower. I might be wrong about that, but as far as my memory right now goes, yeah, it was the first.
However, this specific motorcycle is owned by this gentleman. His name is James Snuggs, and he's a little bit mental. First off, he had this somewhat unrestricted exhaust made. It holds nothing back.
That's a note and a half.
Apart from the exhaust, there have been no more mechanical alterations to this otherwise standard V-Max. But what they have done is flash the ECU. In particular, they changed the throttle opening at the butterfly in the fuel injection bodies. Let's explain. You see, this bike has a ride-by-wire throttle. So what you are doing at the handlebar is not necessarily what is happening in the fuel injection. The team tuning this bike found that the throttle was really opening as little as 29%, even though the handlebar throttle is at 100%. So all they simply did is make the fuel injection throttle opening 100%. The results are spectacular. So let's see. The standard bike makes a claimed 200 horsepower.
Whereas this thing now makes 205 horsepower. But that's on the back wheel, that's on a dynamometer. So if you convert that to claimed horsepower, which the original 200 was, it's equal to about 900 horsepower, or somewhere thereabouts. It also makes, get this, on a dyno, 180 newton meters of torque. I'm scared to open the throttle. I mean, what's going to happen? I might cause earthquakes. I might stop the world from turning. Tsunamis, everything. But in the interest of science, I'm going to open the throttle anyway. Right, we change down. I don't know what gear there. I'm in second gear. Now the problem with this thing is it's got you got the round speed over there, telling speed and revs, and that's important. But then the other one is over here, and you're essentially looking straight down if you want to see it. It's a little bit, yeah, but anyway. Alright, here's a bit of straight road. So I'm in second gear, doing 52 kilometers per hour. Let's see what happens. Whoa! Whoa! I don't quite expect that. Like, I expected something big, I expected something explosive, I expected it to shock me. Sorry, I actually am having trouble speaking. It took the wind out of me. It actually took the wind out of me. That was terrifying. That was terrifying. This shouldn't be allowed. This definitely shouldn't be allowed. Let's do it again.
And so I did.
That shouldn't be allowed. We should definitely ban that forever. Ban it forever. Not until I do it once more at least.
Now, I said that James hadn't made any more alterations, but that's not strictly true.
Okay, so I've been told that the hooter on this thing is, well, should we say aftermarket, and that I should very carefully give it a go. So shall we? It's like a ship. All right, good. No one's gonna miss me now.
Now with all this power comes a bit of a downside, and that's the amount of fuel. So here's the thing, right? It's got a 15-litre tank, which already is not a lot, plus a thirsty motor. So when James, the owner, goes on a breakfast run from Randburg to Harderbeespoort, 60 kilometers, starting with a full tank, he needs to refuel, otherwise he doesn't make it home. So, apart from outrageous power and acceleration, it's an ordinary motorcycle. And that alone is strange.
It's 300 and something kilograms, which is quite a lot. It's a lot. For any motorbike, that's a lot. But Yamaha's handled it pretty well. The first V-Max that came out, the original 1200, that thing was all over the place. It was known as something you got to learn to handle. It would move, it would shake. When you ran around corners, it felt like it had a pivot in the middle of the frame. The front wheel very rarely exactly followed the rear wheel. It was a nightmare. You had to be very, very brave. Now this one, this is the Gen 2, despite being faster, despite being far more powerful, far more everything, is actually slightly easier to ride. It's a lot longer, a lot lower, and built a lot more stable, and it's not bad. You know, even when you got all this power, it's not bad at all. And when you go into a corner, I mean, I'm not going to win any MotoGP races, but it's not bad. I mean, it's a little bit heavy, a little bit of work to tip it in, but it's smooth. It's not wobbling. I'm not feeling out of control. I don't feel like I've kind of, I don't feel like I kind of feared for my life. Unlike the original V-Max. If there's one thing, to talk about, it's the suspension. Well, I don't know if there is suspension. I believe there is some. If you look carefully, you'll find some. Where I'm sitting now, there isn't really. I heard quite a lot.
Despite all that, if I had my way, we would see bikes like these everywhere, every day. We won't though.
It's amazing that they did all of this the way they have on a bike like this. It's just a bike. These are my favorite kind of bikes. They are pointless bikes. And why I say they're pointless is just they don't serve a need. They only serve a want. There's no way you need a bike, big, overly powered, monstrous thing like this. There's no reason, there's no need for it. You do it because you want it. This was killed off by Euro emissions. It was. They had to cancel it because in order to make it Euro whatever compliant, Yamaha would have to pump so much money into trying to do that R&D that it's just not feasible anymore. So they are drowning out these kind of motorcycles, and it's so sad. It's so sad. And all for so we can save the planet. For what? To be miserable. What do you want to live for? I want things like this in my life. The world needs stuff like this. It's why we want to live. It's what makes living worthwhile.
Welcome back. So now before the break you saw us riding a rather monstrous V-Max. Now Glenn, first of all, why are you dressed as a construction worker?
It is what's today? It's Wednesday.
Are
Tuesday.
you one of those people next to the road not working?
This morning it was so cold that even my toes didn't want to curl. It was ridiculous. So I went and found the warmest jacket I could possibly find, and it happens to be this. So
and you can be seen from space.
And if you look around, we're in my shed, and it certainly hasn't got any insulation.
Okay, now hang on. We want to talk about the Yamaha V-Max.
Oh, yeah.
Now that was, of course, the 1700. But this man over here You've got a lot of experience with the V-Max.
Well, not with the 1700, but those of you who remember the Bike SA days, I had a V-Max 1200. I think we sold it on, I said 200, but I seem to think it's 300,000 kilometers.
Bloody hell.
Hassle-free. We bought it new from Joburg Yamaha.
This is sort of late 90s.
Yes,
now.
that was my work bike. We bought it brand new. And back then, our price was 80,000 Rand. Okay, just to give you an idea, 80 grand. And I rode the wheels off that thing. And I'll never forget. One day your dad said to me, "Hey, Glenn, can I take your V-Max for a ride?" I said, "Well, sir, of course you can. You bought the thing. Take it for a ride." And he came back shaking. He said, "How do you ride this thing?" It was like a hinge. It used to wobble and vibrate all over. But that's what I loved about it.
Yeah, but okay, so this was the Gen 2, which is the 1700. The original one that you got was a 1200, and that was known to be...
V4, 1200, it was, at the time, straight line, it was one of the kings of the hill.
Yeah.
And then they made the 1700, which at the time, that was the first bike, and I think you mentioned it earlier, that went over the 200,000 Rand mark. That was the first problem.
Well, okay, so let's talk Gen 2 V-Max did not last long in South Africa.
No.
Like, they bought it in for like a year, and then they kind of fizzle out. But yeah, there was two problems.
And I'm trying to work out how many they brought in. I haven't seen many, so I think that they're quite rare as well.
The problem with it there's two things. First of all, okay, it's first bike as far as I know that came out with 200 horsepower. I know that they had the BMW S1000R was
V4,
193.
1700.
This was 200.
Yeah.
The other thing it was the first bike, if I remember this correctly, and I can't figure out how to actually double check this, but I think it was the first bike by the mass producers, not a special race bike or something.
Yes.
First one across the 200,000 Rand mark.
Yeah.
Now this is at a time when the Hayabusa was 120,000 Rand.
Correct.
This was 200.
And it was a very sought after collectible motorcycle. I remember one of my customers bought one and I said, "Please sir, please sir," because Yamaha didn't have any demos at the time. "Please sir, can I take it for a ride?" And it blew me away. I mean, have you seen, what's that, the Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Second Ghost Rider, that's a V-Max 1700.
Yeah. Well, that was okay. The guy who owns this bike is James, lovely fellow.
Yeah.
He
Old
bought
school.
this. Yeah. He bought this bike because of Ghost Rider.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they don't make the V-Max anymore. And simple reason is because it doesn't meet emission requirements.
Yeah.
And it's too expensive for Yamaha to actually make it. It's so much.
And there's something
R&D.
else. Back then, men were men.
I felt like a little girl riding that thing.
Guys, it's an experience. There's a few bikes. So if I can put it on a parallel with anything currently available, the Triumph would have to come in.
Rocket 3.
The Rocket 3. The Rocket 3 will send you to jail though, because you don't realize how fast it actually goes, because it's smooth and refined, and they all go for this refined look. The V-Max, on the other hand, you open that throttle, you know exactly how fast you're going. Thank the good Lord that it has a little bump stop in the seat for the fuel tank. Otherwise, you'd go whizzing off the back. It is like that. It's an emotive motorcycle. You can feel the vibrations through the bars, and it just goes, wada. There's a sense of indestructibility when you ride a V-Max 1700.
I felt slightly vulnerable.
Absolutely, 100%. And you just say, I hope it's going to stop. You see the next corner approaching, and did you notice it actually handles really well for such a big, heavy bike?
It turns and it doesn't want to go wayward. And
it handled all the little twisties we rode with pleasure, and very fast as well.
But that's it. I kind of wish we would get more motorbikes like that. As I say, what's something I love about it, it's a pointless motorbike in that you don't buy it for any practical reason. You buy it only because you want it. That's it.
15-litre tank will get you from Randburg to Harties. It won't get you back again.
If you ride it properly,
Yeah, and riding like we were, no, you're not going to get anywhere. Simple as that.
Anyway, so that's the V-Max, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around after the break. We will be talking to a very interesting gentleman who's been everywhere on a small motorbike. See you now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now today we're joined by Peter, our special guest. Now he is busy, as I get it, riding around the world. Now we've heard about that before, but he's doing it on a Suzuki DS250. The bike that a lot of people sort of thought was a kind of a commuter, maybe a little bit of off-road. That's the South African standards. Apparently they're completely wrong. Peter, first of all, tell us your story. How is it that you end up, doing the whole globe-trotting thing?
Okay, Donovan, just 11 and a half years ago, after a bit of a process, I sold everything that I had.
Okay.
And January 2014, I flew to the UK, and in April that year, I climbed on a bicycle, and I actually cycled around the world.
Cycle on a
Yes,
bicycle?
on a bicycle.
But using your legs as a motor?
Yes, I actually called
Okay,
it.
wow.
I actually called it my Africa twin,
Yeah.
because I'm Africa and I have two twin pistons, and
Fair enough.
it took me 9 years to actually get around the world.
I mean, around everywhere.
I went to Europe, Asia, Australia, South America, North America, and then I finished coming down Africa.
Jesus. Okay, so hang on, you did all on a bicycle.
On
It
a
took you
bicycle.
9 years, and then you thought, well, let's do it, but a little bit quicker.
I enjoyed the travel so much. Now, at that stage, I was about 68,
Yeah?
and I just wanted to continue. And I thought, no, I'm getting a bit old to continue cycling over all these mountains, the Alps, and the Himalayas, and the different mountains in the Americas. And I decided to do something different and do it on a motorbike. I only started riding a motorbike about just over 2 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I bought a little 150 with the idea of learning how to,
Yeah.
handle the bike. And after a trip, 5 months trip around southern Africa, which took me into Botswana, Namibia, and back into South Africa, I decided I wasn't ready for a bigger bike. So I looked at the smaller bikes, like the Honda CRF 300,
Yeah.
and I was shown the DS250, and basically it came down to value for money. Yeah.
Now, behind us we've got a DS250. This is not actually Peter's bike. We're currently in Primrose Motorcycles. You might know it's one of the oldest motorcycle dealerships in the country. This is their bike. Your bike is actually in Cameroon.
My bike's, yeah.
Which begs the next question. Where exactly have you traveled on it so far?
Okay, on the 250, I've been around South Africa.
Yeah.
I've been into Eswatini, Mozambique, right around South Africa, into Lesotho, and this trip I've been into Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, Angola, Republic of Congo, and then Cameroon, where I left my bike to come back.
Okay. So what, you come back, sort some things out, then heading back, and where to from there?
Yeah, the primary reason to come back is to actually get some visas.
Yeah.
Specifically the Schengen visa, because you can only apply for it from your country of residence. And from there, I'm going into Nigeria. From Nigeria, I'm going into Benin, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and then up the west coast into Morocco.
Yeah.
And from Morocco, I plan to go into Europe, spend quite a bit of time in Europe, and then cut across into Asia and spend time in Asia, and then somehow get my bike over to North America, and then spend time in North America and South America.
So basically everywhere.
Yeah, look, this trip I'm going to avoid
Yeah.
Australia. It's just
Okay.
because of the logistics of
It's a
getting
bit difficult to ride to Australia.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
is.
Yeah. Okay, so far, I mean, part of your travels up through Africa so far, what's been the most sort of spectacular? I know people who have traveled in Congo, and they say really there are bits when you like put into Google, I want to get to there, and it'll go, there's no way of getting there, if you know what I mean. It's just the road. I believe the road network in Congo isn't the greatest.
Okay. It's interesting that because I didn't go to the DRC Congo.
Okay.
I went to Republic of Congo.
All right.
They have
I've been caught out.
they have a pretty decent main road.
Yeah.
From the Angolan border right up to the Cameroon border. There's a reasonably good tar road.
Yeah.
In the cities, the roads are pretty shocking.
They just don't exist. Yeah.
They basically don't exist. If you get off that main road, the roads basically don't exist.
What I do need to ask, with your extensive travel experience, to people out there who, there's a lot of adventurers and all that, maybe not to the extent that you've had, what sort of advice? I mean, somebody wants to climb on their adventure bike, go for an epic journey somewhere. What sort of advice would you give these people? What would you say to them as the important things?
The primary advice I'd give to them is don't overthink it, because the more you think about it, the more excuses you're going to find.
I'm famously not good at thinking, so
no. But the more you think about it, the more excuses you're going to come across to not do it.
Okay.
So just go and do it.
Yeah.
You are going to come across issues on the way, but you can resolve those most of the time.
Well, there's that saying. A friend of mine has a saying. He said, a journey becomes an adventure the moment something goes wrong.
Yes.
And it is. That's where the stories come from. There's stuff going wrong.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I mean, essential stuff. I mean, what sort of tools would you carry? Should you carry a ton of puncture repairs? Should you carry half a motorbike's worth of spares? Is it worth doing all of that, or preferably go lighter? What would be your advice?
Okay. I can only say what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay. I carry minimal amount of spares, stuff like fuel filters, air filters, oil filters, spark plugs. I did carry a spare chain and sprocket set. Besides that, I haven't got anything. I have got a puncture repair kit. I've got, the SX250 comes with tubeless tires.
Yeah, thankfully.
So I've got one of those string things. I do have slime in the tires, but that's basically all I carry.
And you've never really encountered any really major problems, something
so
majorly.
far I haven't, fortunately. But in places like the countries I've been through, Angola, Republic of Congo, Cameroon, there are so many motorbikes there.
Yeah.
The biggest problem will probably be getting the right spares. It's probably not going to be too much of an issue finding somebody.
I mean, somebody to replace a chain, somebody to fix a tire, that sort of stuff is fairly. But if you need a part for the DS250, well, phone Carl here in South Africa.
Well, correct.
Yeah.
This is it, because Suzuki's not represented in the three countries: Angola, Republic of Congo, Cameroon.
Yeah.
You just don't see a Suzuki there, or a Suzuki motorbike.
So, if people want to keep up to date with your travels and see how they follow you and things like that, are you running social medias at the moment? Or?
I'm not very good at that, but I do have a Facebook page called Moto Gazzy.
Yeah.
And I do try and keep up to date with what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've got action cameras and that, but I just find it is such hard work to sit down and put the videos together.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Moto Gazzy.
Yes.
Is that correct? So please follow Peter, Moto Gazzy. When he gets the chance to update stuff on his Facebook page, please go and have a look. Peter, really, we wish you the best of luck for the rest of it. Congratulations on everything you've done so far, especially the bicycle thing. Sorry, that kind of blows my mind a little bit, but congratulations on all that, and seriously, best of luck, and we look forward to speaking to you again when you're further through your journey.
Donovan, thank you very much, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.